The first time it happened, I thought I was just tired. You know how it is. You're working late, staring at the screen, and the world just kind of blurs for a second. I was in my kitchen, making a cup of tea. The kettle was just starting to whistle. I remember the exact time on the microwave clock, 11:34 p.m. I reached for a mug in the cupboard, and as my fingers brushed against the ceramic, the world stuttered. The whistling sound of the kettle seemed to stretch, becoming a low, painful drone. For a split second, everything froze. Then, snap. I was standing in the same spot, hand outstretched, the kettle silent. The clock read 11:34 p.m. I blinked, shook my head, and put it down to exhaustion. I made my tea and went to bed. The next night, it happened again. Same time, 11:34 p.m. Same place, my kitchen. I was getting a glass of water this time. As I reached for the faucet, that same strange feeling washed over me. A full-body shiver, like a glitch in reality. The sound of the refrigerator humming distorted into a deep, guttural growl. My own reflection in the dark window seemed to flicker. It smiled just a little too wide for a moment. Then, snap, I was back, hand hovering over the faucet. The fridge hummed its normal tune. The clock showed 11:34 p.m. My heart was pounding. This wasn't just exhaustion. Something was wrong. On the third night, I was prepared. Or so I thought. I sat at my kitchen table, phone in hand, camera ready, staring at the microwave clock. 11:33. My pulse was a drum against my ribs. 11:34. And there it was. The world didn't just stutter this time. It broke. The lights flickered violently, casting the room in a strobe effect. Every time the light flashed, the shadows in the room moved. The shadow of the chair I was sitting on stretched, its legs elongating into long, spidery limbs. The shadow of the knife block on the counter looked jagged and sharp, like a row of broken teeth. The soft ticking of the wall clock sped up, faster and faster, until it was a frantic, panicked clicking, and then it stopped. The air grew thick and cold. I could hear whispers, just at the edge of my hearing, layered over one another, impossible to understand. It felt like I was drowning in them. Then, snap, I was back at the table, phone in my hand, clock reading 11:34. The kitchen was silent, normal. My camera app was open, but the recording was just a single, corrupted frame of digital noise. It's been happening every night since. Each loop, each reset at 11:34 p.m. gets worse. It's not just shadows and sounds anymore. The fourth night, as the loop hit, the voice of a radio announcer playing softly in the living room twisted. His cheerful tone became a slow, mocking drawl, and he started saying my name, over and over. The fifth night, the faces in the family photos on the fridge warped. Their eyes became dark, empty pits, their mouths stretched into silent screams. I tried to leave. One night, I sprinted for the front door as 11:33 ticked over. I had my hand on the doorknob at 11:34. The loop hit, and the door handle became searingly hot, burning my palm. When I snapped back, the door was locked and the key was gone. I found it later, back on its hook. I tried staying away from the kitchen. I locked myself in the bathroom. It didn't matter. At 11:34, the room plunged into darkness. The sound of water didn't drip from the faucet. It felt like it was dripping right behind my neck. A child's laughter echoed from the other side of the door, high and chilling. When the reset came, I was back in the bathroom, lights on, completely dry. But the mirror, my reflection was still laughing silently. The repetition is the real torture. The constant anticipation is a physical weight. I can't sleep. How can I? I just lie in bed, watching the hours crawl by, knowing what's coming. 11:34. It's a deadline. It's a judgment. I've tried everything. Staying awake going to sleep early, even smashing the microwave so I couldn't see the time. But it doesn't matter. I can feel it in my bones. A deep hum that starts in the foundations of the house and works its way up my spine. Last night was the worst. It was the 10th night, or maybe the 20th. I've lost count. At 11:34, the loop didn't just warp reality. It brought something with it. As the lights flickered and the whispers returned, a shape formed in the corner of the kitchen, just by the fridge. It was tall and thin, made of pure shadow, but it had a density that made the air around it seem to bend. It didn't have a face, but I could feel it looking at me. It took a slow, deliberate step forward. The sound it made was like dry leaves scraping against concrete. I was paralyzed, unable to scream, unable to move. It took another step, its form shifting, growing larger. The whispers weren't just whispers anymore. They were clear. They were chanting a single word. Welcome. The shadow was halfway across the room when the snap came. I was back at the table, gasping for air, drenched in sweat. The clock read 11:34. The room was empty, but the air was still cold. And on the floor, where the shadow had been standing, was a single dark scuff mark. A scratch on the linoleum that wasn't there before. Something stayed. A piece of the nightmare crossed over. Tonight, I'm not waiting. I'm not hiding. I'm writing this down, this message, this warning. I'm recording my voice. Maybe if someone finds this, they'll understand. It's 11:30 p.m. The humming has already started. It's louder tonight. I don't know what's going to happen. The loops have been escalating, building to something. I've been a prisoner in a single terrifying minute, forced to watch my world crumble again and again. But what if that's not the point? What if the repetition wasn't the trap? What if it was a countdown? What if the loop breaking is the real horror? It's 11:33. The whispers are starting. They're coming from my own throat. The lights are flickering. I can see it. The shadow. It's already here, standing by the door. It's not moving this time. It's just waiting. Waiting for the clock to change. I've been so focused on the loop, on the reset, I never considered what happens when it doesn't reset, when it just continues. The clock on the microwave just flickered. It's 11:34. The kettle is starting to whistle. Nothing's snapping back. The shadow is raising its hand, pointing at me. The clock just changed. It's 11:35. The loop is broken. The whistling from the kettle isn't stopping. It's getting louder, screaming, and the front door is slowly creaking open.